Okay, we're going to talk about books and tools for electrical construction. Now, on the books, you're going to need a code book. The 2017 code books are what's over in the bookstore. This is a 2011. This is a handbook. A handbook has more explanation in here than a regular code book. Your regular code book is going to be cheaper, but a handbook really gives you a lot of information that explains what the regulations say. And you can tell mine's well used here. I really recommend the handbook if you can, but if pennies count, get the regular code book. We'll talk about it and explain it in class. So get yourself a code book. Now, here we have three not handouts, but they're quick card references. Okay, they're $10 a piece over in the bookstore. This is on conduit. This here's on the quick reference for the code. It's great. This here is quick reference on blueprint symbols. So we're going to be doing a lot of blueprint work in here, and that comes in handy. So those three are over in the bookstore. This ugly reference guide, about every electrician I know's got one, so they can reference different things they need to. It's a great addition to your toolbox, about 15 bucks give or take. So I highly recommend that as well. Now on tools, you're going to need a pair of leather gloves. So the leather gloves, don't be dragging mechanics gloves in here that's got nylon and polyester on them. They're great for mechanical work, but for electrical work, we absolutely have to have leather. It can be goat skin, it can be cowhide, but they need to be good gloves, 8 or 10 bucks, don't break the bank. Now, if your tools are being supplied, or if you can, these are electrically rated gloves. These are what we're supposed to have. But we're in a community college, right? We're trying to get you a degree and get you a job. So we do make allowances for the leather gloves. That's not legal on a job, okay? But these here have rubber liners, okay? And we'll talk about how to test them and everything. And then they come with leather outside protectors. Now, if you buy these, you don't want these skin tight. Go down to Rexel. Rexel will help you out with all these tools. But if you notice with these, I can pull my hand out of there real easy. You don't want these to fit like those Playtex dishwashing gloves. It's way too tight. See there? I got some play in here. You're not picking up dimes with these things. You're doing testing for the most part. Okay? So they come with the protectors. They're about 70 or 80 bucks, and they know what you need down there. These are class 00 for 500 volts. You will want class 0 for 1,000. They're the same price, but get class 0 for 1,000, and that way you can take them on and use them at work if the place that you go to work requires you to supply your own. So there's the gloves. You're going to need a polarity checker. This is a little plug-in thing. It's got 3 lights on it. We're going to be hooking a lot of receptacles up, 120 volt receptacles. This will tell you whether your wiring is correct or what your fault is, and they're great. Electrical inspectors use these all the time. It's about 8 bucks. It's no big deal. Now, on meters, because of the COVID crisis, we are not supplying any meters to be shared in our labs. We're not sharing anything in the labs, okay? So, this here is a couple $100 bucks. It's a fluke meter, but for 40 bucks, you can buy a Klein meter that does a great job, and excuse me, it has a high enough rating. What you want is a category 3 at 600 volts minimum. So here in a couple weeks, whenever we get into lab, if you're thinking about buying a meter, write it down or print out what kind and what model it is, bring it in, I'll look it up, and or look at your information and tell you whether it will work or not. If they don't have the ratings, we can't use them. So Cat 3 at 600 minimum. It's going to be on the front right here. This says Cat 4 at 600, and Cat 3 at 1,000. So it's above Cat 3 at 600. So this is more than good enough. Okay, you're going to need a tape measure because we're going to have to be cutting lengths of wire and lengths of conduit. It can be any brand, I don't care. 10 foot, 20 foot, 30 foot. Excuse me, needs to be at least 10. You need a couple pair of channel locks, just regular standard channel locks. These here are lineman pliers. Okay, hold it over here so you can see. They're square end. They'll know at Rexel what lineman pliers are. They can fix you up. You'll need these to twist your wire. Okay. You'll also need a pair of side cutters. These are side cutters. All they'll do is cut. So we need to cut cable. You're also going to need level. This here's a little pricey. It's about 30, 40 bucks. But it's got horizontal, vertical, 30 and 45 degree bubbles. You'll need this to run conduit with, and Rexel, they have a real good price on them down there. This is Greenlee, but Southwire, Klein, several of them make them. Now, you need a pair of wire strippers that will strip 14 gauge wire. This here goes from 14 or from 10 all the way up to 20 gauge. So most of them do, you get multiple stripper with multiple holes in it like that, it'll be good enough. 14 gauge wire. Now we're going to have to ream the conduit whenever we get the conduit at fall break. This is a square shank screwdriver that has a reamer on it. They know down at Rexel, it'll ream half, 3/4, and 1 inch EMT. So they'll know what you're talking about. Now this is a Greenlee 9-in-1 screwdriver. This is all the screwdriver you're going to need in class if you get this outside of the one with the reamer on it. But they sell one that's just a reamer, so it's up to you. This here has different nut drivers in it. It's got 4 screwdrivers in it. It's got a couple of square shank. And square shank is what we use to install our breakers, okay? Circuit breakers, they have a square shank on them. And you'll use this the rest of your life. So that will get us on tools and meter and books for electrical construction. So if you have any questions, give me email me at marty.higdon, Higdon, at kctcs.edu. Check for information on the blackboard, and I'll see you in the lab.